Hello students, welcome to Holy Scholar classes. Today I will be taking the fifth part of chapter 13, that is why did we fall ill. Okay, so this is chapter 13 from class 9 science. In the previous four parts we have already discussed much about what is the disease, how they spread and all. Okay, so today what we are going to discuss is several types of diseases. Okay, on the basis of how they are spread. Okay, on the basis of their spreading. Fine. So spreading can be airborne disease through air, waterborne disease, it can be spread through water, sexual disease, it can be spread through physical contact and sexual contact, and animal-borne disease, it can spread through animals, food-borne disease, it can spread through foods, lifestyle disease, it can also be spread due to our lifestyle. Okay. Then in the last we shall be seeing about AIDS, causes of AIDS and methodology of transmission and its prevention. It is in your syllabus. Okay. So these are some of the topics which we are going to start. So first we will start with several types of disease in which we will first discuss about airborne disease. So based on the means of classification, based on the means of spreading, classification of disease can be done as I have already told you in different categories: air, water, sexual disease and even animal borne. Okay, so four are the main categories: food also and lifestyle. So airborne disease are the disease which are being transmitted through air. Okay, it is being transmitted through air. So how it is being transmitted, what happens? These microorganisms, they got spread in form of droplets in the air. Okay, the microorganisms, the pathogens that cause a particular disease, they get spread in form of droplets in the air. And suppose if a healthy person is here, that microbes is in the air, and some healthy person, when he inhales some contaminated droplets, okay, from other person who has coughed, who has sneezed, so he is totally going to be infected. Okay, so what is going to happen? Suppose here is a man, he is infected. Okay, an infected man is here. What happens? He is going to cough or he is going to sneeze. So you must have seen that most of the people, they don't cover their mouth and face when they cough or they sneeze. They don't put their handkerchief or anything on their mouth when they cough or sneeze. They just do like this or they just sneeze like this. So what happens? The germs, the microorganisms or the pathogens, they get out of their mouth. Okay. So here, when they are coughing and sneezing, these are the droplets of pathogens. Pathogens, or you can say microbes. Okay. So these droplets are in the air. Now they are traveling in the air. When this infected person has coughed and sneezed, he has transmitted some of the pathogens in the air. Now suppose here is a person beside me. He is non-infected one. He is not infected, he is not having any kind of disease, he is non-infected. But what happens if he inhale? If he is going to inhale this droplets, okay, now what will happen? This person is going to be infected. Okay, so this phenomena, this cycle which has taken place is how our disease is being transmitted through air. एयर के थ्रू डिजीज कैसे ट्रांसमिट हो रही है हमने देखा. एक इन्फेक्टेड पर्सन था, he is coughing or he is sneezing, he is not covering his mouth and he has just spread few droplets of these pathogens or microbes into the air. And this person who was non-infected, इसको कोई infection नहीं था, he was just normally breathing and he has inhaled any one of this droplet. अब इसने वो ड्रॉपलेट्स ले ली, वो पैथोजन, वो माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म ने ले लिया, तो he is also going to be infected. So ये जो मोड ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन था जिसके थ्रू इसको इन्फेक्शन आया, जिसके थ्रू इनके इस नॉन इन्फेक्टेड पर्सन के बॉडी में भी पैथोजन आया, माइक्रोब्स, माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म आया, that mode of transmission was air. Okay, so this is called the transmission through air. Fine. So airborne disease is transmitted through air, through a person who coughs or sneezes, and when he coughs and sneezes, his microbes are spread in the air in a form of droplets. Fine. So sometimes what happens is somebody is standing close to that person, he breathes these droplets and microbes get a chance to start a new infection. Okay, so now microbe has got a chance to start an infection in that person. Okay, what happens is we have often experienced one thing, that suffering from a cold, if somebody is suffering from cold and it catches to ourselves very soon when we go in a crowded places. Okay, so someone suffering from a cold and it is catching to ourselves whenever we go in a crowded place, what happens, these microbes, they get a very good condition to live in a crowded place. Okay, so more likely it is such that airborne disease will spread if there is a crowded places. Okay, so nowadays we have seen that a pandemic of coronavirus is there. So that virus is also, it is being said that it is also airborne also. That's why people are being asked to cover their faces, to cover their mouth, so that if somebody who is infected coughs or sneezes, that virus do not enter in your body. Okay, so for airborne disease, the examples are pneumonia, common cold is there, tuberculosis, TB is there. So these disease, if somebody is infected with TB, if he coughs and sneezes besides you and you just inhale those droplets, you are surely going to be affected by TB. Okay, so that's why it is said that TB people should not cough, or they should just cover their mouth and they should remain isolated with other persons so that other persons do not get infected. Pneumonia is also same thing, and common cold, we know that whenever season changes, if one person suffers from cough at our house, everybody catches it. Why? What is the reason that if somebody is having cold, all of us gets the cold? This is only the reason that those pathogens, those microbes, they are being transmitted to our body also through air, because we all are living together. If somebody is coughing and all, those droplets are coming in the air and we just inhale it. Okay, so airborne disease is transmitted through air. Okay, so what is going to happen in such situation? Microorganisms, they spread in the air in form of droplets in form of droplets. These microorganisms, they spread in the air, and if a person inhales, okay, he is going to inhale contaminated droplets from other person's cough or sneeze, okay, he will be affected very soon. Okay, he is also going to be affected by pathogen. So if you see the airborne disease examples are, a very common example is of pneumonia, common cold, or even tuberculosis, that is TB. Okay, so airborne disease is transmitted through air. Microorganisms spread in the air in the form of droplets. Okay, these microorganisms, they are spread in the air in the form of droplets, and if person inhales those contaminated droplets from other person's cough and sneeze, he will be affected by pathogen. The example is pneumonia is there, common cold is there, and TB is there. Okay, so this was about airborne disease. So the next is waterborne disease. So waterborne disease is mainly due to when we take contaminated water, okay, which contains some bacteria, viruses or worms. Okay, when we are going to take that, we are going to suffer from some of the waterborne diseases. Okay, so disease can spread through water. We all know that water is very essential for all of us, and disease, they can spread through water. It occurs if excreta from someone suffering from some kind of disease, an infectious disease. So the infectious gut disease, any infectious gut disease, that can be either a cholera is there or be, okay, so that water, his excreta is going to mix with the water that people are going to use that are living nearby. Okay, so this disease is spread by water. In this disease, what happens? The excreta from someone suffering from infectious gut disease such as cholera get in the mixed with her drinking water. So suppose this is a person, okay, and he is suffering from some infectious gut disease. Okay, so it may be like cholera. Fine. So now what happens? His excreta, okay, his excreta is going to mix with water. It is going to mix with water, and that water is distributed or being used by the persons, or that water is mixed with a drinking water used by nearby persons. Okay, excreta mixed with water or nearby persons drink that. Okay, so very commonly what happens, sometimes these ice cream is very dangerous for us. What happens, this ice cream sellers, they use some bad water, some contaminated waters, and when these people like us, when we eat those ice creams, we suffer from this kind of diseases like typhoid and cholera, all these, because we have that ice cream has been made with that contaminated water. Okay, so a person suffering from infectious gut disease like cholera and his excreta is mixed with water, and the person nearby drinks that water, or sometimes like ice cream seller makes ice cream of that, and whomsoever has eaten those ice cream, there is a chances that this pathogen can be transferred. Okay, so cholera causing microbes. Next, what is going to happen? Suppose this person was having cholera. So these cholera causing microbes will enter in the healthy persons. Okay, through this medium, through water they are drinking, and it is going to cause disease in those healthy persons also. So such diseases are more likely to spread in the absence of safe supply of drinking water. If there is a not safe supply of drinking water, such conditions may occur. Okay, so waterborne disease is transmitted through water. Okay. Example you can take, cholera is there, typhoid is there. Typhoid is also because if a person takes some contaminated water, he is going to suffer by typhoid. Okay, and this hepatitis, as we have known that hepatitis is also because of that. Nowadays, previously before when our father and mother were small, then there were no vaccination for hepatitis, but now there is a vaccination for hepatitis, so it has been vaccinated. Infants are being vaccinated in the early age only, so hepatitis is being in control. Otherwise, previously what happens, there was no pure drinking water and many people used to die because of hepatitis. Okay. So this was about waterborne disease. Next we will see the sexual disease. The third type. Okay, so the third category is of sexual disease. Many disease they spread by the contact of one person to the another person. Okay, one infected person, he comes in the contact with a healthy person. Okay, so now what happens? These sexual diseases, they are not transferred by if you are contacting anybody, one close physical contact of two persons. Okay, so that is not going to take place. If you are shaking hand with somebody, then it is not going to take place. If you are sitting with somebody, then it is not going to take place. Okay, so the sexual act is one of the closest, when there is a very close physical contact is there between two persons, then it can be transferred. Okay, so not surprisingly, there are microbial infection. Some microbial infection are there, such as AIDS are there. They are transmitted by sexual contact of one person to the another person. Okay, so it is not okay if you shake hand with somebody you are going to suffer from syphilis or AIDS. No, if you sit with that person you are not going to suffer from AIDS or syphilis. It is not like that. But if you you are going to make a sexual contact with that person, then only you are going to suffer from it. So however, these diseases, they spread, there is no physical contact. Okay, so the first thing is that do not spread. Always remember, this thing is very important. People have a myth that no, I will not sit with him, I will also catch. So that is not there. So don't sit, don't spread through physical contact like handshake, etc. Okay, so it can only be transmitted other than the casual physical contacts, can be anything. Handshake, if you are hugging somebody, or if you are playing sports with somebody, wrestling and all. So in these social contacts, it is not being transmitted. Okay, so it is either transmitted, the modes how it is being transmitted is by sexual contact, and there are some other reasons also where these diseases like syphilis and AIDS can occur other than the sexual contact. Like suppose if you take the blood of a person who has been suffering from AIDS. Okay, so this virus of AIDS, if it is present in that blood, so it can spread through blood to blood. Okay, blood to blood it can go. And suppose if somebody has if you go for a barber and somebody is suffering from AIDS, and the same blade that barber uses for you, and if there was any cut in that through that blade and there was any blood stain, and that blood stain gets matched with your blood stain, then there is a chances that you can suffer from it. Okay, and through blood to blood, in detail we will be seeing in your syllabus. There is about AIDS, we will be seeing how it is being transmitted, but few I am telling you here only. Okay, so blood to blood, if a mother who is having AIDS is feeding her baby child, then it can go through her breastfeed, through her pregnancy also. Okay, so from a pregnant mother, only if that baby is breastfeeding or during that pregnancy, okay, it can go. Fine. So a pregnant mother can give it to her baby and to them, even if it is breastfeeding. Okay. So example we have seen HIV, AIDS is there, and the other example is of syphilis. Fine. So these two examples are of how they are transmitted sexually. So they do not spread with a physical contact. Please remember that any kind of physical contact like handshaking, playing sports together, hugging each other, it is not going to make you to suffer from these kind of disease. It is only being transmitted if you are in sexual contact or if you are in contact through blood. Okay, so this was about sexual disease. Next we will study about airborne disease. Okay, sorry, animal borne disease. So the fourth category is of animal borne disease. Okay, so we know that we live in a society, we live in an environment where there are many other creatures other than us. Okay, we also live, and there are thousands of creatures that live. There is a mosquito, there is a honeybee, there are different kinds of animals like dogs and all. Okay, so different animals, different insects, they also can be a carrier of some of the disease. Okay, so it is expected that excuse me, Many diseases will be transmitted by other animals. Okay, many diseases are being transmitted by other animals. What happens? These animals, they carry the infecting agent. They carry with them the infecting agent from a sick person, and they carry it to a normal person. Okay, potential host, you can say. To the person to whom they carry, they are called as host. Okay, so suppose there is a sick person, it is being transmitted to the host. Host is the non-infected one. Okay, so it is being, who are the carrier? Carrier is animal. Any animal is a carrier who is going to transmit from a sick person to the non-infected host. Fine. So what happens ki these animals, they act as a intermediates. Okay, they are these animals are the intermediate. Intermediate मतलब कि ये दोनों के बीच के हैं, एक sick person है और एक जो है कि अच्छा पर्सन है। तो ये एक इंटरमीडिएट है इन दोनों के बीच में, तो जो इंटरमीडिएट है उसको हम लोग क्या बोलेंगे? वेक्टर्स। Okay, so they act as a vector. So that's why this airborne disease is also called as vector-borne disease. Also called vector-borne disease. Fine. So the common vectors, if we see the commonest vectors are well known are mosquitoes. Mosquitoes carry thousands of diseases. They are the well known vectors. They themselves are not affected. These mosquitoes, they themselves are not affected, but they carry many parasites. Okay, like malarial parasite they are going to carry, dengue parasites, dengue also they are going to carry, and different kinds of diseases are there because of these mosquitoes. Okay, so mosquitoes, what happens? We know that these mosquitoes, they feed warm-blooded animals, and we are warm-blooded animals. Okay, so in this way, what happens? Ki they transfer the disease from some infected person to a non-infected person, from person to person. Suppose I have been infected with malaria. That mosquito has taken my blood, has bite me, and he is going to bite some person who is non-infected. So that disease is going to be transferred to that person also. So receiving a bite from these animals, insects, they carry the pathogen and thus we get infected. Okay, so let's see some points quickly. So this animal-borne disease is also called as vector-borne disease. So many diseases are being transmitted through animals. Fine. These diseases are being transferred to animals, and these animals, they act as intermediates and carry parasites from one person to another. Okay, they are going to carry from one person to another. So mosquito are very common intermediates. Mosquitoes are very common. Very common vector. Okay, those who are transmitting the disease, those who are the carrier of a disease, they are called as vector. Okay, so these vectors, they carry the disease to the host. So how they do? They bite. They bite the infected person. Okay. And then to the host, person who is being to be infected. Okay, so very good example of animal borne disease is malaria is there, dengue is there. Okay, so these are rabies is also an animal borne disease. So these are also called vector borne disease. Many diseases are being transmitted through animals, Animals act as intermediate and carry parasite from one person to the another. Mosquitoes are very common vector. Okay, the carriers are called as vector. They bite the infected person and then to the host. Example, malaria and dengue. So have a quick look on animal borne disease. Meanwhile, I would like to tell you that if you have not subscribed our channel, always follow it. Please do subscribe it so that you will get the notifications whenever we upload videos. Okay. So this was about animal borne disease. Next, food borne disease is like the water borne disease. As we have seen that if a person drinks contaminated water, he is going to suffer from these diseases. Similarly, in case of food, they are caused by germs like bacteria, viruses, fungi. Some toxins are there present in a food, and if somebody eats that contaminated food, he is going to suffer. So food-borne diseases are like food poisoning is there, typhoid is there, okay, and there are several diseases which are being spread because of our lifestyle, unhealthy lifestyle, poor lifestyle if we are living. These are going to be transmitted. Like heart attack is there if there is no regular exercise, if we do not walk, if we gain us all of a sudden weight, we are going to suffer from heart disease. And diabetes is also one of the disease which occurs when there is a poor lifestyle, when the lifestyle is not good. Okay. So next we will discuss about AIDS. So next we will study about AIDS. The full form of AIDS is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Okay, so AIDS is not a disease, it's a syndrome. Fine, in the higher class you will study that what is the difference between a disease and a syndrome. So AIDS is caused, what is the causes of AIDS? It is being caused by a virus, okay, and the name of the virus is retrovirus called HIV, okay. So retrovirus, HIV is the causing organism, a virus is there. So the full form of HIV is what? Human immuno virus. Okay, so if it is being asked in exam, what causes AIDS? Retrovirus HIV is there, that is human immunovirus, human immunodeficiency virus. Sorry, I forgot to write deficiency. So now we will see what are the method of transmission of AIDS. Method of transmission of AIDS. means how AIDS is being transferred from one person to another. In the sexual disease, we have seen that how AIDS is being transferred. Here we will cover all the points. So the transmission of AIDS is from an infected person to a healthy person. Okay, and it takes place in several ways. The first and the very common how AIDS is being spread is through sexual contact. Then by blood transfusion. If a person who is being infected by AIDS, his blood is being transmuted, it is being transformed to somebody else who is a normal person. So through blood transfusion and use of a needle, if a needle is being or a big blade that has been used by a person who is infected from AIDS and to a normal person. That's why it is always said that if once the needle is used, it should be thrown in bin, and for every injection a new needle should be used. And the blades also, we should never use others' blade. We should always try to use new blades. Okay. So use of infected needle or blade, it is also being transmitted from mother to her fetus and from a mother to a baby who is feeding her mother. Okay. So the method of transformation are, first is the sexual contact, second is the blood transfusion. Okay. Then the third one is the needle and blade, which is being used by the infected person. Used by infected person. Pregnant mother, mother to fetus. Okay, if a mother in his womb is having a fetus, mother to feeding baby, okay. So these are 5 main types how this is being transformed. Okay, transmitted from one person to another. Transmission is through sexual contact, through blood transfusion, needle and blade used by infected person, mother to fetus and mother to baby that is feeding her mother. Now there are prevention. If there is something, there is also a prevention also. So how this people can avoid that they do not suffer with this syndrome, that is AIDS. So how we can avoid it? Let's see the prevention methods. Okay, so how it can be prevented? Prevention is, the first prevention is that avoid transfusion of blood. Okay, it can be done by testing whether the blood is HIV negative or not. So always when there is a blood transfusion, you should first check that blood whether it is HIV negative or not. Okay, so check blood is HIV negative or not before transfusion. Okay, then only you should transfuse any of the blood. Next is that always we should dispose the syringe or the needle used into a bin. Okay. Always dispose needle after use. Okay. Then if you go for a barber, always try to avoid same razors. Okay. Avoid same razors when you go to barber. Okay. And we should never be in sexual contact with an unknown person. Never be in sexual contact with an unknown person. Okay, so these are 4 preventive methods how we can avoid of being AIDS. We should always check blood whether it is HIV negative or positive before transfusion. Always we should dispose needle and syringe after use. We should avoid the same razor when we go to barber. Never be in sexual contact with an unknown person. Okay, so this was about AIDS. We have seen how it is being caused, what are the methods of transmission and how it can be prevented. Okay, so here I finished my part 5. This is we have seen today all the types of disease spreading, how disease can be spread through air, water, animal and through sexual contact. And in your syllabus of sexual disease, that is AIDS, was there, that we have discussed today. So this was all for today. Thank you so much students for watching my video. If you like my video, please give a like button. And if you have not subscribed our channel All Is Scholar yet, please do subscribe it, because we upload videos daily so that you can get the notification whenever we upload the video. So also go in the description box, check the link of our app. Okay, and please download the app. There you are going to get very interesting videos. Also the PDF notes, very concise and very good PDF notes are there, and questions are there. We also take live classes. If you are interested for that, we welcome you for those live classes also. So thank you so much. Thank you for watching my video. Please give a like button.